Hi Liz, so I wanted to make this recording because it's a little easier, I think, in the long run to do a demo on to how the visual builder for Divi works. And in this video, I'm just going to show you basic editing of content and links and buttons and images. A lot of it you probably have either figured it out yourself or could, but I figured just getting started with the foundation wouldn't hurt. So the first thing you want to do when you log in, if you're on the dashboard, click Pathboard VA to be brought to the front end of the site. And then click this Enable Visual Builder. And it'll take a minute just to reload. Okay, so now you'll see that if you hover over certain sections, things will be outlined. And the basic structure of Divi is that you have sections, which are outlined in blue. So this whole area is a section until you see the end of the blue. Rows, which are in this green box, that's a row. And then within the rows, you have modules. So this, for example, is a text module. This is an image module. If you click here or hover, you'll be able to see this setting gear, and you'll see this is a 2-column row. So we have 1 column, 2 columns. So for example, if you wanted to edit some of this text, you would click on this module settings, and here you would see your text. And within this editor window, it's your pretty standard WYSIWYG editor. So you can just sort of edit as you normally would. And another feature, so for example, since this area is sort of custom with these headers and different colors, so I just set these as header 3. So say you wanted them all to be a certain color, you would go to this design tab, click heading text, click your header 3, and you'll see this one here is orange. And I preloaded all of your colors in here. That way you're not going back and forth to the branding guide to get your color code. So if you want to change that to blue, it updates to blue. So that's pretty, or if you wanted them to make a little bit bigger, you could do that. Okay, but, and then for example, if you wanted to change the design of the text, I mean, I by no means recommend you go around changing the design of things just because we want a consistent look and feel throughout the site. But at the same time, I understand that as you guys are adding content, you might want to make, you would want access to make headers of this color. And then just for example, the text is your basic paragraph text. So that's your hexadecimal for that, your standard font size, etc. So for basic paragraphs, that's really all you need to know for this text module. Another thing we use throughout your site a lot is buttons. So if you click into this button module, what I've done for you guys is I've set up presets of different buttons. That way, if you want a button to be blue oval, oops, sorry about that, blue oval. Or say you wanted to switch this to the orange oval, you could just click this, and then you'll see, here's a good example of little things that you might need to alter yourself. You maybe don't want it to be centered, so you click design, alignment, left. And then say, for example, you feel like it's a little close to this text here, you would go to spacing, and then let's add a little margin to the top, and that pushes it down a little bit. So it just looks a little bit nicer. And then, obviously if you wanted to go back to content, which is always the actual content of your module, you can change the text to say, learn more, put it back. And then your link. So right now I just have it linked to the values and history page. And then in this case, since we're not going offsite, we're just keeping it in the same window, which means it's not going to open a new tab. And then another point to keep in mind, because I did have a client make this mistake and he lost a lot of work, is always press your check mark. That's going to save the changes to that module. And before you leave the page, always click your big green, your save button. And this is for the whole page. Now, a lot of times the page will alert you. If you try to navigate off the page, it'll say you have unsaved changes. So it will alert you. So once again, moving on, I'm just using this learn page as an example. We have, for blue is our section, green is a row. So here we have a row, for example, with 3 columns. And this section is just your header. So you can see there, that's a header 2. Could change it to a header 3. And again, like if you end up wanting to change some things, you can go into design and make it bigger or smaller, but just try to be consistent. And I actually did also set up a lot of these headers here. So this one, sorry. So, well, let's leave this one as it is. This I did pretty early on, so I probably hadn't assigned a default to that yet, but you will, I'll show you more of that later on. So you can, go in and edit these pretty easily. And see, you'll see, here's a good example. It says, if you highlight and senior team, you'll see here heading 4, and I set this as a preset. So if there's somewhere else on the site where you want to use the size and font for a header, you would write in your, you would open up the text module, you'd write out the text that you want. And so say, for example, probably when you start with a module, it's going to be set to paragraph. So you would write my new H4. So your new header 4, you'd highlight it, you'd switch it to header 4. You'd make sure this was set to header 4 gray. Sorry, sometimes I don't know why it does that. Okay, I accidentally pressed blue. You set it to header 4 gray. And as you can see, I also have a header 4 blue. And so say, for example, I want to undo that, I just press this undo. Oh, I guess it only goes back. There we go. And then press save. And then I know that it's going to be important for you to add team members. And I'm going to show you that to you in a different video, just so it's these videos don't get too long. Also, if you ever see something on the site that's sort of faded out, that's because it has been disabled. So I think originally in the design we had ambassador council, but we just either, I guess you guys changed your mind, or we don't have the content for that yet. So that button's hidden on the front end. And then here's, just another, we wanted to add more to the page. So we added, here's another section. And in another video, I will show you how to add sections. Again, this is your, just our basic text module. There's also a shortcut. For example, if you see this, I personally think this button's a little close to the text. Sometimes it's a little tricky, but you can, hold on, you can, it's not letting me do that. So if you just go into settings again, design, spacing, Then let's add a little margin to the top, just to add a little breathing room. And then save. These Get Help, Give Help buttons, I've added to your library, so you can easily add them anywhere. And I will go over that in another video as well. These are your forms. They're a little bit more complicated because I had to integrate with MailChimp. So this section is grayed out. So it's faded. And then your news is automated. So really all this is a blog setting. So it's just content posts, 3 posts, but I'll also show you how to easily add this module elsewhere on the site. And then again, you save. That way you don't lose any work that you did. And then another important just little tidbit. Oh, I don't think I mentioned this. So also you can go in, this is a full width header module. So here's where you put a title, or if you guys want to change the subtitles, because some of these I just made up, and then some don't have any. If you wanted to add a button to it, sort of like how we have the homepage, you can. The first time you set that up, well, I'll do a review of the homepage and I'll show you how to do that as well. And then the images, well, the image is in the background, and this part can be a little tricky. So you might think we have an image here, it's not showing up, but you have to click this image because this is for if you just wanted a color fill, a gradient fill, a video background, which I know we might have in the future, or an image. So that's the image that's there. So if you wanted to replace that, you would click in there and pick a new image. Obviously, you're going to have to be careful because it's it's a very wide panoramic image, and I have this gradient here. That way we can read the titles. So you really can't just pick any image to go in this header section. Okay, and I'm just going to click to save anything. Okay, so another important thing. Now, say you're done editing and you want to move on to other pages. You can't go anywhere when you're in the Visual Builder. So you have to make sure you click Exit Visual Builder. And here's that warning I mentioned. It contains changes that haven't been saved. So most likely you're going to want to hit save and exit. I'm going to hit discard and exit just in case there was something I updated during this demo, but then forgot to put back. And then once it says enable Visual Builder, that means you can navigate around the site again. So that is just a little rundown of your basic editing functions. And I will make a few more videos, and hopefully that can get you started so you can do basic content updates on the site. Okay, thanks.